Hello everybody and welcome to RimWorld Raider Empire. So today we're going to be starting a new series, but before we do, very quick things to go over. If you would like the mod collection for this series, it will be linked down in the video description below. It will be a Steam collection. Any mods that aren't available on Steam will be linked directly to the Ludion forums page within the Steam collection's description, so be sure you got that. If you have the name in the game perk on Patreon, there will be a list of your names all below in order of depending on obviously what skills and stuff you may have wanted, in order of how they are on the list and when they will come into the series. And if you would like to see the full unedited versions of these videos, that is available for anyone on Patreon that has any donation at all. So let's get into this. It's going to be a very quick setup because I already know exactly what we're doing. We're going to do a crash landed start. We are going to be starting with Cassandra Classic on rough. The reason for this is just because of the way the game scales the enemy bases. As we progress through the game, we will be, making it more difficult, and eventually once we hit Merciless and things start getting too easy, we will be making it even more difficult beyond Merciless. Reload anytime because YouTube stuff. For our map seed, we will be using Bill at 30% because we don't need an entire world, and just normal rainfall and temperature. For our map, you can see we have an absolute ton of factions. Some of them have islands, and the Blue Moon Corporation, we're going to be picking a location relatively close to them. So I've been looking around for a good spot, and this tile here seems to be one that's gonna be a good location. We have some enemies up in the Boreal Forest. We have some other ones down here. We have tribal factions just south of us, and of course the Blue Moon up in the tundra. So we'll have lots of opportunities and a nearby city. Obviously cities aren't something we're gonna be able to do, fairly early on, but we'll see what we can do. But we have road access to some of the civilizations nearby, so it should make early game easier. And as we expand, we're going to want to build our own road networks to get around a little quicker. This map tile here, we are obviously going to have winter. As much as I normally hate winter, it makes, for a bit of an extra added challenge. We have to decide when we want to go places instead of just being able to go. But we will be doing temperate forest just because I can't stand the ground layout with all the little bits of water and stupid shit that's just in the way of progress. So we are also going to be expanding our map size from the vanilla 250 by 250 up to 275 by 275 since we are playing on a mountainous map. Obviously you normally don't want to go too big just because you end up with more late game lag, but since the mountain takes up a very large portion of the map, that shouldn't be an issue. For our pawns, we are obviously going to have it prepared carefully. We have our initial 5, so if you want to take a look at the names, there you go. Flightgamer has a little bit of a problem. You can't have a name that long for the identifier and stuff like that, so I will be saying Flightgamer, but what can you do? But if you want to take a look at our starting 5, here you go. For those of you who haven't watched episode 0, the reason we're starting with 5 people is so that we can go out and do stuff a little bit earlier on instead of having to wait to get enough people to be able to leave the base. Because obviously 3 people don't really cut it for early game adventuring. Alright, so we're in, and let's take a look at what we have. Oh, that's a lot more mountain than you normally get. It looks like a reasonably somewhat defendable area that we have to work with over here. Where is a geothermal? Where's our geothermal locations? There's 6 on the map. We have 1, 2, 3, 1 up here. That's basically it. We have none there, 1 here. So basically, we got 1 that's really useful, and then these ones over here are going to be a little bit trickier to, take control of. We can let our people drop in right away. One thing that we are going to want to get going right away, normally I don't worry too much about it, but food's going to be very important considering we have winter to worry about. We are going to want to allow everything on the map, and we can quickly get our skills and stuff set up. Now, obviously, this is going to get cut out for the normal YouTube stuff, so you guys that are on Patreon watching the full unedited version could take a look at exactly the game plan here. So, Dayton, definitely bed rest, hall, the normal ones across the board because, there's no point having those on anything else. Finishing off only works if you're level 6 or higher, so those are going to be good. For wardening, okay, so what we're going to want to do is purge all of these. And we'll start trying to get a good balance. Definitely growing is going to be an important first start. So what we can do for Dayton, you can be a warden number 1. So we'll do wardening, then managing, then probably hunting would be a good option. So we'll have hunting after the managing. That way we could always make sure managing is getting done. And then we can have you doing hauling, because it'd be nice to be able to get stuff moved around fairly quickly. After you're done with that, cleaning's... We do have common sense, so cleaning's not going to be super high priority, since people will do it as they do other jobs. So we can set cleaning to just a 4 for essentially everyone, because, like I said, every area should stay clean for the most part. But if people run out of stuff to do, then they could clean other stuff that doesn't normally get done with common sense. We can get you doing some constructing, but only a level 1 kind of sucks. So we'll set you up for crafting, although we won't really have a whole lot of crafting going on. So we got, I guess, just 3, and then we could set 4 and 4. Actually, you know what? Let's set 3, 3, and 3. We'll get mining done first, although that will give us less resources. Let's set you on to a 4. So we'll do the crafting first, and we'll set plant cutting fairly high up, because that way we can have some extra assistance getting wood early on. So that would probably be good before the crafting and stuff. Maybe even before hauling. Actually, you know what? Let's have it after the hauling. And then obviously not growing. And then Leo. Leo can... you're our other shooter for the most part. Not a whole lot of other things going on. So we'll have you set for hunting number 1. And when you're done hunting, do hauling. And when you're done hauling, you're going to be allowed to do animals and wardening. And then after that, you can assist with the plant cutting as well. And then mining. Actually, you know what? You're kind of going to be our best miner, because Jay down here is going to be doing growing. So maybe we get Leo set up for a lot of mining. Have you set to mine before you haul? Because obviously if we have hauling, then mining, then they'll mine 1, and then haul it back, mine 1, haul it back. So that would be then... You want... Okay, let's set that to 2 and 2, and then plant cutting as a 3. That way, well, we'll go over it after, that way we have it for everyone in the normal episode. And then Flightgamer, number 1 cook, very important. So once you're done cooking, you can assist with the research probably. Yeah, because Hiemdall is going to be... He is our better researcher, but he's going to be spending a lot of time on construction. So we could do cooking, then research. And if there's no research, which there isn't going to be a whole lot early game, because obviously we're going to prioritize other stuff, then you could do hauling. We can also set managing just in case, because it will get done after researching, but it'll be fine. And then when you are done your hauling, you can assist with wardening. So you can be a 3 for wardening, and then we'll do plant cutting as a 3, and then we'll do all the crafting stuff as a 3 as well. And then if you have nothing else to do, you got cleaning. We'll set up quarrying later. We're not going to worry too much about getting blocks early game. Through quarrying anyway. We'll get it from all the chunks around, because we're going to want to dispose of those anyway. Hiemdall, you are going to be number 1 construction. And then once you're done your construction, you can do... Probably a hauling would be a good idea as well, because hauling's one of those things that just never really get done enough. So we'll have construction, then hauling, then crafting related stuff. And then when you're done that, you can do plant cutting to make sure that, you know, more people doing trees is always good. And when you're done with that, you can be a 4 for research, because you'll do your cleaning, then research. And that should work out fairly alright. Obviously, we're going to be changing these as we go, depending on what we need getting done versus what's actually getting done. Jay, you are going to be plant cutting and growing number 1. So it's going to be mostly the plant cutting first. We should also set some construction up in there. We'll do that in a sec. So it's growing, then plant cutting, then cooking would definitely be a good idea. Have an assistant cook. And then after you're done that, you can do your crafting stuff. But first, actually do the mining as well. then crafting stuff. And then after you're done, oh, sorry, we do want those. Oh no, those are fine as a 2. Then we'll set hauling as a 3. I know I could do it as a 2. It'd be the same order, but we'll do that. So that's looking pretty good. Dayton will maybe not get you doing construction at all. What are you at? You're a 4, Leo. So you'll get swapped from hunting. Well, not from hunting, but hunting, then hauling. So after you're done hauling, wardening and handling, since those aren't 2 things that are going to get done very early on, we'll get construction, so we have at least 2 people doing it. So that's a pretty good spread. Okay, so then that makes it so Dayton is going to be doing our finishing, well, sorry, not finishing, our wardening, then management, then hunting, then hauling, then plant cutting for wood, and then crafting stuff, then mining, then cleaning. That should be good. Leo, you know what? We're not actually going to go over all this. You can go through and take a look if you want, but I think that should be a pretty good start. Now, we do have some steel up here, some components. We are going to maybe set these to get mined right away, just so we have that extra resource. And then we are going to need buildings. So, oh boy, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. We're going to want structures. We are going to make stuff out of wood to start. And actually, you know what we should do is get plant cutting going and let them run as we go. Oh, we don't want cut plants. We want chopped wood. So we're going to try to gather as much wood as possible. We do have some muffalo down here. Might not be a bad idea to try to get them early on, since they are going to be kind of within our area. But we definitely are going to need a ton of wood. So we're going to just set up all that. For our building, oh, actually, before we do that, we also want to get, people can sleep at any time. If they're tired, go to sleep. If they're not tired, don't worry about it. We're going to want to get our drugs. We're going to want to tell people, don't do any drugs for any reason unless I tell you to. Thank you. We're also going to want to get our outfits set up to be no tainted apparel. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll go no tainted, because we should be able to get mending up fairly early. So that should be a good start. We can get people starting to do stuff. We're going to want our weapons and armor. So, who is going to be good to be doing stuff? So a 10 and a 7 are our best shooters. So we'll go these 7. Actually, who's going to be hunting? Leo's going to be hunting fairly early on. So, hunting, you can have the survival rifle. Then we'll get Dayton to take the revolver. And then we have a melee brawler right there. So you can probably be best with the plasteel knife and all of the armor. Would probably be not a bad move. That way, when you do get into melee, you'll have at least a bit of coverage, because that's where, you know, you'll end up getting shot and have a lot of other problems. For buildings, we're going to want to get 5 bedrooms, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare. We can dig out some of this mountain for the sake of compacting things back. And we're going to need room for growing, which is going to make things bad. So what we can do is kind of split our base, both the north side and the south side, and then do growing in the center. I know that's a little bit far for walking distance, but we'll do bedrooms on the north side. So we'll start it right about here. So we're going to just have basic standard bedrooms for now. We can look at fancying them up a little bit later. So we'll go to 7 by 7. We'll have another one right here. So then the doors are going to be facing out this way. We're going to have ourselves a bit of a hallway. And we can work... So we'll go 7 by 7. And then for now, we'll also go 7 by 7 into here. So that'll give us our 5 bedrooms. It's going to obviously cost quite a bit of wood to be able to get that going, but it's not a huge deal. And then we can expand this one down into the center or across this way, depending on what our feelings are as we progress. So that should be good. We are going to want to set up extra mining for that bit so it's nice and clean. We're going to need to get ourselves a stockpile and all that stuff as well. So we can maybe do it right in here and have that kind of blocking things off. Let's do that. So we'll assume a 2 wide walkway here. We are going to have to mine out some more of this. So we're going to go... we can have the fridge going towards the mountain. That way when we expand, we can go into the mountain, which will cause better insulation. So if we have a cooking area plus our fridge right here, we'll actually expand this instead of a 10. Let's go 13. And then our cooking room is going to be bench 3. Yeah, we can go 5 wide with the walls because we don't need it to be particularly large. And then that's going to be our refrigerator in there. And then we can expand down. We'll have a walkway that cuts through here that actually works out beautifully. So we have a walkway that's going to be going through the building. And then we have a recreation-related room. For now, it doesn't have to be particularly large because obviously resources are going to be a bit of a pain. So we could have that there, and then we could do our stockpiled right down in here. So a stockpile we can have, obviously that's going to dig into the mountain a little. So for now, let's make it a little bit weird shape just for the sake of not having to do too much digging. End up a little bit small. We can have that just like that. And we could set up mining and people could start doing stuff. We're going to need recreation. Yep. Don't worry about it, game. We'll get all that done. Maybe we cancel the mining for now just for the sake. We'll keep the components because we'll probably burn through them pretty quick. But we'll make sure we get this mining done first. We're also going to want to get beds going as soon as possible. So we're going to need furniture, beds, and we're just going to do this with single beds. With all these people, we might end up with relations fairly early on. So as we get new relations, we'll switch out these for double beds and, you know, do what we need to do. For production, we're going to definitely want to get ourselves a manager's desk, so we can do that right over here. We're going to want table and chair, that way we can eat. We are going to actually, before we do that, get another door in here. So if we have 1, 2, 3 for our bench right there, we can have the other bench right here. We will have it a part of this room for now, but as we progress, we'll make sure that it's a separate room with clean floors and stuff like that. And we might want to also put a door to the outside for the sake of hunting. That way you don't have to walk around. Well, for now, we'll leave it. We'll leave it for now. It should be all right. We are going to want to get stockpiles set up. So we could do a stockpile just within here. So that is going to be critical. Yeah, critical will be fine for now. Oh, I didn't want that. Because if I did allow all, it would make things weird. So we want that to be critical for never anything rotten, no food, and that should be good. We're going to want a food stockpile. And that is going to be critical for nothing except for food, no rotten. And for our corpses, we want animals. For in here, we want mech. So that should be good. We're going to get ourselves tables and chairs. So for now, we're just going to keep things relatively simple. Actually, you know what? We can push that back one because we don't need a million chairs. We're going to just use stools because they're a little bit on the cheaper side. We're going to want our cooking benches so we can get ourselves butchering. You guys not trapped up there or anything? No, you're fine. No one should get trapped anywhere. We don't have any doors on that yet. So we'll do butchering right here. We'll have a electric stove right here. We'll get our power going as well. We're definitely going to want doors to be able to cut through here for you guys. Those components are definitely going to want to get moved. The bedrooms did come together fairly quickly, which is nice. And then we do want to get our growing. So we'll wait a day or two for growing just so we can get everything else done. Because we do want Jay going around cutting all of the trees down. But we also got to spend time tilling the soil. Not that it takes particularly long, but we're definitely going to want to get a lot. So that should be a fairly good start. We do want these walls and all that done fairly early. We will get that mined out. Right now, obviously, they have a way around, so it's not super high priority. We are going to want power. So power we're going to do probably in over here. Obviously not that side. Yeah, we'll do it just over here. So that's going to be, oh god, everything's in weird spots compared to what I'm used to. Power, we got fueled, so we'll do, I know it's a little bit much, but we're going to end up using it up pretty quick, but maybe 2. Let's go just 1 for now. We definitely will need 2 fairly early on. And then we'll get our conduits just running the perimeter here. We'll worry about getting the bedrooms all powered up after, once we get lights and stuff going in. And then we also need coolers. So we go temperature, cooler, and we're definitely going to want 2. Now, is where it's going to be a bit of a problem, because raiders will see this and attack it. But I guess we'll deal with it when it comes. Because we'll have embrasures and stuff out here, because we are going for a fortressy build. We should also consider more long-term to make everything one giant building. Since we do have winter, we're going to want to do temperature management, and having everything as one giant building is much better for temperature management. For recreation, we're going to want horseshoe pins. For now, we can stick that just right in here, away from where the hallways are going to be. And we can also get ourselves a chess table. We'll do that down in this corner. That way they have two options. We're going to want to get ourselves a research bench up and running. We could really get people moving now. We can get that. And that should leave us with not a lot of room for other stuff. But we'll worry about that when it comes. We didn't get all the beds done. At least we got 4 of the 5 done. That's a pretty good start. We have lots of wood. Awesome. And hopefully this stuff isn't going to deteriorate too much. Those pants would be nice to not deteriorate. That's just because Flightgamer... Oh, there you go. Flightgamer obviously swapped out for flak pants. Alright, so that's moving along good. We have a 39% discount for our, any purchase we want from mercenaries. Now, research-wise, that's always going to be a tough one. Because what's important... We'll hold off for a sec just so we have more people doing more building and mining related stuff. But we are going to have to get that set up very soon, because we are going to need to get a few things going as early as possible. Microelectronic basics is always an early game thing that you kind of want to prioritize, but it's going to be an absolute nightmare to get going, because it is 3,000 research, and that's, for an early tech, very expensive. So we are going to do a few things first. Climate control is going to be a very important one. New lovers. Who do we have? We have Jay and Dayton. So we're going to need to get you guys a new bed. So Jay's room's there. We'll just go ahead and swap that out for a better bed. And that will give us an extra bed for prisoners if we get raided, which we should probably the next couple of days. Obviously, that makes sense. It's always the next couple of days. Bills. Okay, so we're going to want to set this up to be butcher animal, do forever, set the limit to approximately there, cover our fridge. Manager desk, we're definitely going to want to set that up. You know what, we can do that now. So we are going to want ourselves all trees, stock up to approximately 1,500, which is 2 stacks of wood-ish, just shy of its works. And manage, that should be getting auto done. In terms of distance, that should be fine. There is some map layouts that you don't really want to set it up like that. But this one, you can basically get anywhere from anywhere. There's not massive runarounds that you have to do to get to any place. Other than, I guess, that. But that's not really that big of a deal, since we're going to end up claiming basically the entirety of that. We do have visitors. Do we want to kill them? Do you have anything good? No. We're not going to kill them. It would be nice to take prisoners right away, though. We are also going to need ourselves a dumping stockpile. So for now, we can dump stuff just in this general area. Keep it out of the way. Oh, what? That'll be fine for now. That way we can get crap out of our bedrooms. So we can say haul things, get rid of all these chunks. Rid of the chunks within here. Our building itself is almost done. We obviously need to get wood floors and stuff. But that's kind of lower priority. They'll be fine for the meantime. Okay, so we can get some floors for our tilled soil. So we'll get all within here. We are going to need quite a bit of room because we're also going to want to stock up as much hay as possible for when winter comes. That way we have the ability to feed whatever animals we get. So we can do... set that up there. We are going to want to get terrain rehab, so we could change this over to soil. We have a walkway there, walkway across here, so then we'll be able to expand the farms down this way as we need it. We can get all this stuff hauled out of the way as well. And this is completely indoors, everything's working. These are going to need to be lowered. Oops, too far. To negative, oh god. I don't want the conduit. Negative 19. We are going to want to also get ourselves meals up and running. So we can do 4 simple meals and lavish. Let's just do simple meals for now. We'll set up the lavish meals and just suspend it for now. We want that to do until, rather. So we'll set up to 100 of each. That should get us going. We're also going to want to now get ourselves hunting set up. So we're going to want to hunt everything except for predators or exploding. We're going to want ourselves about 1,500 meat as well. That should be fine. And then we are, for now, just because we don't have like a whole lot of great weapons or anything like that, we're going to get rid of animals that tend to go crazy. Mega sloths and rhinos being the big ones. We do have the boars and muffalo that tend to, you know, go crazy when you shoot at them, like as a herd. But, you know, it's quite a bit less frequent. Whereas rhinos and mega sloths are pretty damn frequent in how often they attack. Next, we have idle people. Wonderful, wonderful. So we can get... Let's get ourselves rice going. That way we can get some food coming in quick. How long until winter comes? We're just about into summer. Now, obviously, we have to worry about... do we want these muffalo instead? Get them early on? Let's tame them. Is there more muffalo on the map? No, yeah, we'll try to grab these 3 muffalo. That way we could start breeding and stocking up as much as possible. Because there's going to be enough other animals. And we could go and kill rhinos if we really need extra meat. That should be alright for now. Research. Oh boy. So, just make sure you paused. Because we don't want that running in the background. Okay, so, what do we need? Survival meals are something that we do have to get as early as possible. Because if we're going out, we're going to want it. Let's do that. Mending is another one that we're going to want very early on. It's a pretty cheap research, so we should probably get it going. That way we could fix up stuff, especially when raiders and all that come. We can steal their clothing, or if we go out fairly early on, we have that covered. Climate control we have to get before winter, or else we're going to end up having to do campfires and heaters and stuff like that to be able to manage it. So if we can get this going, that would be ideal. And maybe the industrial one. That way we aren't building stuff that's going to get ripped out fairly early. Now that's going to end up being about 2,000 research. But if we have someone doing it like as a focus, which we do, that should work out fairly well. Let's get both. And then probably after that we're going to want microelectronic basics so we can actually do trading. Maybe also include batteries before that. That way we can use wind power and solar. So that's going to be our initial research. That should work out fine. Okay, other than that, things looking good. We should have... Oh god, who else was... That's Jay and Dayton. Dayton, can you not have that bed, please? And you'll automatically go to that one. That will be fine. Okay, so that's looking good. We can also turn off... we want auto build. Home zone's fine for now. Once we go out and start doing bases and ruins and all that, we are going to want to turn off auto home, or else it's going to cause us more problems than it'll help. But for now, it'll be fine as is. And we'll split this between hay and a larger crop like corn. Maybe not corn, because corn does take a while. We'll see. We'll see. But that should work out well. Everyone's asleep. Okay, let's speed this up. And obviously we need to really stock up food. Oh, what do we want to... Okay, so we're going to have it so you guys can name. Whatever comment has the most thumbs up on it for a name recommendation is going to be what the base is called. The faction... this is the settlement. So for now we'll keep that. The faction itself is just going to be... Let's play for the sake of my save file management, but each base name is going to be voted upon. So for now, that'll be good, and I can use dev mode to change that once we get an actual answer. So yeah, if you have any good ideas, definitely throw that down below. Alright, that's looking good. We're getting our crops in. These are almost done. Next, it's going to be getting wood floors. and some other floors. We are going to want to get storage as well. That's going to be quite expensive. We got meals coming in, which is wonderful. We definitely want to get the floors in here done. So for now, we can do paved tile. We have a mad squirrel. We're going to want to check that out. So we'll pave tile within these. That's going to be wood. This is going to be paved. We'll go wood. Then we'll look at getting concrete outdoors after. That's kind of a bit lower priority. Mad squirrel, where is it? Right there. There's no one over on that side. So we can get probably someone with a gun. Let's get Dayton will be our best option here. Deal with the damn squirrel before it causes us a problem. They should be able to get these floors done. We have lots of materials for now. Come on. You can get the hits. Okay, or not. You know what? Just melee. It's a squirrel. Flightgamer, can you come out and assist, please? Although it should be dealt with by then, because it's only a freaking squirrel. Just sucks that we're taking a couple bites here. That's fine. And we'll set that up to just finish off. So Dayton, we do have the extra bed here. For now, we can make that medical. And we'll obviously get a proper medical room up and running relatively early on. But that's looking good. We could set up some more growing out here. So we're going to want a fairly good amount of hay. Maybe a little bit more than that. And then we'll set up... We could go berries. I know 2 people that would really appreciate berries getting grown. Do berries. We'll do berries. And then over here, we're just going to get an absolute ton of hay made up, just so we have winter. We are going to want to get an animal area set up as well. We can also do home, just in case there's any dead animals on the map. So animal grazing area, because we do have the ability for animals to be grazing. They're not going to really be able to do it within the base. So we are going to have to make a closed off area for them to be safe. We could actually... Once we get terrain rehab done, we can change all this into growing, just into grass. And then that's a fairly good amount of area for animals to be grazing in. Obviously, until winter comes. Then we're going to have to feed them hay. That's kind of less of an issue once we get all that hay going. Alright, and who's doctoring? We should probably get Hiemdall doing doctoring as well. Just because you're not terrible. So just assist. So that should be fine. Alright, that's a pretty good start. We are going to want to get our lights going. But we'll wait till this stuff is built. And research isn't getting done. Okay, so for research, Flightgamer, actually, out of curiosity, I can add, I don't know why, in Prepare Carefully, it doesn't let you use as many characters as you're actually allowed, but now we have Flightgamer properly. In research. Okay, so we have research 1, so that's going to be cooking. Okay, so Flightgamer is going to be cooking first, which is quite a bit of cooking overall. And we do really need to get that research done. We have Jay, who's going to be doing growing and stuff. So once you're done that, you will be able to cook. But that is going to take quite a bit of time for you to go through and finish all that up. How many meals are we at? We have 58 simple meals. For now, let's drop cooking a touch. We'll keep an eye on how many meals we have. But yeah, it would be nice to be pushing research. That's convenient. I'll take alpacas. Is there more on the map? Wildlife, please. Yes, there is a few. Alpacas are an adequate hauling animal. Buffalo, we still have just those 3. So that works. We are going to want to get an animal area set up as well. So we can do area 1 and set it so they're allowed... I guess the mountain doesn't really matter. So we'll allow these animals all into here. It's actually going to be fairly safe for raiders. Because we can fence that off. Actually, if we're going to fence it off, let's... Okay, so that's going to be where a walkway is there. We can get rid of that. Fence will go there. And right here. We'll also get rid of that for now. That's going to have a 2 walkway. We'll dig into the mountain and use that as a power system. So that'll be good. We'll get those fences set up sometime soon. For our assign, you don't need to be forced wear that. We're going to want you into area 1, and we'll expand and make areas a little bit better as we need them. That should be all right for now. That's going good. Let's go ahead and move this along. All right, that's looking good. Our floors are almost done. We have lots of wood left, so we can get their beds upgraded. That way, if we have any other relations, we don't have to worry about it. Summer is here. Okay. We can get one in there as well and just remove that. It'll be fine. We can get ourselves end tables and stuff. And as per usual, I do know that you only need one end table. The hell's with... Oh, that's fine. I know that you only need one end table for each of these beds, but I prefer two just for aesthetic purposes. We can get ourselves dressers in all these rooms as well. That way they have everything they need. We could also do plant pots. They're relatively cheap. So that's going to be under furniture, plant. We'll just make them out of wood for now. That will make the rooms a little bit richer. We can also use them in here. So we can do one, and we can do one right there as well. We don't really need any here. Our first raid. Oh boy. So that should be everything there good. What are we looking at? Should be one person because of just the way the game works. We're definitely going to want that corpse. We can allow that. So you're just melee. You're going to be coming in. I should have read that. It doesn't really matter anyway. So we can get Dayton and Leo to come out and just deal with you. It shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. Are you going to hang around for a bit? Because we got people going out and doing stuff. So I'd kind of prefer if we just went and dealt with you as soon as possible. Okay, so we can get you shooting, so just stop there. Dayton, move in a touch. That way you can actually get some shots in. They're melee, so we don't need to worry about cover or anything. Headshot, eh? Did that just do brain damage? No. We're going to be wanting pretty much everyone unless they're absolutely really horrendous, but you're sickly, which is not good. Gay, misogynistic. You do have a lot of skills, so you'll be fine to take. Sickly is going to be a bit of a problem. Oh, we're going to want to grab this. We can make that a prisoner room for now since it's not being used for anything else. Go just capture. What's your bleed rate? 7 hours. We should have that covered. Might get an infection, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. We can also, for temporary food, get these to get, oh, not cut, harvest rather. And we're going to want whatever heal root we can locally, just so we have some medicine for lower tier injuries. So we'll set that to harvest. All right, so that's looking good. How's our power usage currently? We have 250 watts, so that's going to be enough to get ourselves some lights up and running. That way we can see around the base. We can do a light there, light there. We'll work on doing inside first, and then we'll work outside lights. We could have one there. Kind of want one right there as well, but that's probably a more logical location for it. Bedrooms, we could just have them opposite of the door. And then for outside lights, probably right there should give us reasonable coverage for where people mostly walk. We could have one there. That's not really a concern right now, but we will get one there and there. So that should keep things reasonably well lit. We can also start getting that mined out so we can walk through here. We're going to want conduits. We can run that along here. And then we'll just run the base plate for now. Crocodiles. So you are going to be taking a while. We'll set you to recruit, so we'll try to get that as soon as possible, because more people is more good when you're building an army. Doesn't matter if they are just mediocre at best, as long as they are effective at doing something. Mostly killing. Okay, so that should be good. Let's get you guys moving along again. Research is getting done. So first is going to be the survival meals. That way we have the option to leave earlier on. Once this gets mined out, we'll get that steel that's over here and maybe some more steel down there. That way we can make sure we have enough. We are going to need more wood. We did get most of this planting done, which is nice at least. So J, I'm going to have to remember who's what. Oh, we're also going to want... Oh, son of a bitch. Where is it assigned? We're going to want everyone to be attack on sight. See something, kill it. So, heat wave. I guess temporarily, since obviously we don't have climate control, we can set up just some passive coolers in rooms that we're actually using. Might also be worth getting vents up. Although we're not going to need vents as we go. So that's kind of a waste of steel. How much is it? 30 steel each. But this is also 50 wood each. So if we did this in every room, that's not good. We are in the early summer, so it is going to probably hit about 45-ish degrees. So you know what? We can get a good amount of the steel back from vents. So if we do one of those there, one of these here, and then get vents up and running. Now, it's going to be a problem for this. I was going to kick them all out of the bedrooms, but we'll force that real quick. Who is our constructor? That is Hiemdall. Hiemdall, can you get that vent done? Because that'll fuck that up. Thank you. And then you can be set back to non-prisoner. Alright, and that bed needs to get removed. Cargo. Ooh, what is the game gods given us? Just some fabric. Not a big deal. We'll take that. We'll worry about hauling in all the steel chunks after. Once we are able to actually process them. That's actually a really nice defendable place too. As we progress, that might be worth blocking off and working through that opening. We have to get rid of all this water for it to be super effective, but that might not be bad. Doesn't really help us with the steam geyser situation. That's pretty well defended. Oh, look at all the mountain. How much do you want to bet? With this much mountain, there's a big chunk of not mountain within here somewhere. I got a feeling that there's something. That just seems like way too much mountain. With that said, normally when you have a mountain, it does hug the edge of the map. So if it was anywhere, it would be somewhere within this area or somewhere just right off of this one or this one. But it wouldn't go way down into here. We'll see. We're not going to be doing strip mining, so we might not ever discover it. Because it'd be nice to be able to get all of our a good chunk of our resources from, you know, raiding and stealing and pillaging everything. But we'll see as we go. And then meal-wise, we still have more than enough. We could expand these zones, get them to fill their thing. We are coming up at time. We are going to want to get storage going next episode. We'll wait till we get all these lights and everything that we have currently going done first. Hey, a Psychic Soothe. We'll take it. Hiemdall, can we get you to... can someone else do building? We'll get Leo doing it. Leo, what are you up to? You're consuming a simple meal. Can you, get that set up? And then also get that cooler set up. These coolers are kind of important. Get that cooler set up. And now, Jay, once you're done all this, you'll go back to cutting wood, which is good because we're basically out. At least until it's time for crops. If you don't know, just in case, you know, not everyone watched episode 0, we don't have enough power for all this. Go ahead and expand. If you don't know, I am using tilled soil, which in vanilla is, or I guess vanilla for the mod, it is 200% fertility. I do have it modded, so it's only 140. It's the same as rich soil. So it's not as overpowered, because I always get complaints about using it when it's not particularly as crazy as what people think it is. Which it's fair that people think that, because, you know, why would I go and nerf it? But yeah, I do agree that to 200% is a little much. Our survival meals are done, so we're definitely going to want to get that going as well. For now, we can set it up so we have 100 of them. And then we'll look at lavish meals once winter comes and we have a better idea of what we're working with. Because right now, if we do it, we might not, you know, have enough resources to survive the winter when it does come. So getting more right now would be better. But that should be good for now. Sadly, that was rotty corpses. What can you do? Alright. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. So next episode, it'd be nice to Get mining. We are going to want to get all that steel mined out. We can also set this steel to get mined out. That way we have more than enough resources. We'll get our wood restockpiled because right now we are short. Jay should be doing all that. Yes. And we'll get ourselves a bunch of animals, fence this off, get our floors done in here, and see about taking an early trip to... Now, obviously we don't have any quests or anything yet, but what we do have is every map tile except for ours has just real ruins on them. It's not going to be anything fancy, but technically we can just drop into any tile and, you know, loot some stuff on them. They're not going to have too much, but they will have something worth grabbing. Not maybe, I shouldn't say worth grabbing. There's going to be something existent that we can disassemble and steal the resources from. So maybe we'll take an early run out once we run out of the local resources. You know, just for something to do. Just for something to do. But either way, for now that is going to be it. So thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. See ya.